Welcome to another episode of the Pain and Purpose Podcast. I'm your host, Darrin Bedford, and today I got a special person with me. We go way back, further than I could count, but he's a pastor. He's a owner of Mama Jean's Hub, and he a barber, which qualify him as a hood therapist. Welcome, Demaria Evans, better known as Truck. What's happening?
What's going on, bro?
Just chilling. You know, we was talking before I turned the cameras on, and just want to get straight into it. Mama Jean's Hub, I think that's the most important thing because that's you suffering one of the greatest loss a man could suffer. And then you literally turned that pain into a purpose. So tell us about that.
Man, so Mama Jean's Create Hub, man, it's a few things, right? And you're right, I did turn that hurt into something helpful. I come to know Jesus from the passing of my mother, right? Not only do I come to know Jesus, I discover my purpose. Like the last thing on the planet I thought I would ever be was a preacher, right? A preacher, pastor, minister. I didn't think I would do anything in a church, right? Like, so that's even if it was just to sell chicken dinners, I didn't think I would do anything, right? But in that, man, I started to learn some stuff about myself. And the one thing I've always told myself, and I stood firm on, is I will never allow my mother's name to die. I'm going to always keep her alive somehow, some way. So before there was a Create Hub, we was already doing work in the community, fun days for the community, feeding, break the barbecue pit out and in front of the shop and just feed everybody, from anybody. You can be walking down the street and want to get something to eat, homeless, whatever it was, right? So it's what I've always done to keep moms alive. But when the pandemic hit, bro, there was something that was taking place that, and God said, you know, don't open the barbershop back up. But I never heard him say, leave a space, right? And the whole thing with the Create Hub was in conjunction with two things. Whatever I was going to do, I was always going to put my mom's name on it. So the first thing I did was the Pantry. That was Mama Jean's Pantry. That's what you was one of my biggest supporters when I started in 2020, right? But when the pandemic hit, man, I'm just thinking like, who finna support this lower bottom community, right? And I jumped on Facebook. I started asking the customers for $10. Everybody started contributing. We raised like $1,000, made like 50 bags of groceries. The day before the shelter in place was about to take place, and then we did that food drive, right? In front of the hub, well, the barbershop at the time, right? We did that food drive, and that's where it all started. That's where it all started, man. We put together them 50 bags of groceries. And then folks saw that what we was doing and was bringing hygiene stuff. So it was just a bunch of stuff that we started to put out for the people right before the pandemic started. And I didn't know all this was finna come from that, right? And from there, man, it was just as if God said, okay, it's go time, right? And then we started feeding. We were doing like 150 meals every day. I was hooking up with different chefs, and they was making it work for, you know, minimum money, and just because we was all working together, right, for the betterment of the people. And the momentum just kept going. If it was just one thing after another, and before you knew it, the barbershop had turned into like a little warehouse, like a little Safeway warehouse. You know what I'm saying? To where we had all of the canned goods, and then we had hygiene supplies for everybody, from men, women, kids. We had some of everything. So it just kept growing. And I never heard God say, close the space. But whatever I was going to do, I was going to push my mama name, not my name, but my mama's name, because that was what my mama did in the community. Say for instance, and you know this, as a kid, you done probably seen your partner's parents get into it, somebody go to jail. You know what I'm saying? One of the parents got to get arrested or something. Yeah. And my mama was that one to come and grab the kids like, nah, y'all ain't.
Have you ever had that moment at work where you notice that people are being rude and disrespectful? Sometimes people are overreacting without thinking, and you just wish that there was somebody who was dedicated to doing something about it. If this even sounds remotely familiar, I encourage you to sign up for our Civility Intelligence Trainer program put on by EI365 that's rooted in our signature approach of EI Code of Conduct. If you or someone in your organization would like to be a thought leader on civility intelligence and help neutralize that undesirable behavior in your work environment, you can reach out and book a call so we can certify trainers inside of your organization so you can have a constant eye on workplace incivility. We'll see you on the other side. Peace.
And my mama was that one to come and grab the kids like, nah, y'all ain't got to take them. They can stay with me till y'all figure that out. And if you was hungry, Gene, can I get something to eat, Gene? Gonna feed you. You know what I'm saying?
Just carrying her legacy.
Yeah, bro. And that's what got it all started. But I didn't see what God was getting ready to do.
You didn't see it growing into what it grew into.
Nah. I'm thinking we just finna help right then and there. Who knew we was finna be in a pandemic that long? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the pandemic hit and it made everybody shift. And whenever you call or whenever you put out a text, if I got it,
man, hey, listen. If I had to make a placard, you know what I'm saying, with those original, hub starters, boy, you must definitely be on there.
But now that you got the hub up and running, and it is not on autopilot, because I don't think it'll ever really be on autopilot because of the type of the work it is. What's the goal or what's the plans for it?
So the hub is okay. So Mama Jeans, that's in remembrance of my mother, right? But the Create Hub is to give honor to God. That's God's space. Creator. I believe God gifted everybody with something to be able, with the ability or the gift to be able to create, right? And the thrust of the hub is to help us to teach our children what is their natural giftedness. Like what gift did God give you to be able to create? And man, in the inner city, in the hood, man, we kind of navigate our kids to become what we think they need to be. You got a little size on you, play football. You got a little height on you, shoot hoop. Your daughter can dance, we're gonna try to work that, or whatever it may be. You're gonna be a cheerleader, you're gonna be but when do we actually take the time to ask them what they want to be? And then when we do, how often do we get behind that and actually support that without trying to manipulate it to make it what we think it should be? And the hub is just trying to create that space for kids to be able to think again and kids to be able to feel, right? We don't really know. I'm learning as I'm being around these kids, bro. They're smarter than what we think. We're smarter than what we give them, right? And I believe we miss it a lot of times from two things: because of age, and then we all kind of grew up in that "I told you so" kind of setup, right? So you stay in a child's place. But I've had some conversations with some kids, bro, and I'm glad I've been able to have them, because they having some real serious thoughts. Times is different from us. We, Walkman, this social media, cell phone, like everything can happen in your hand. We had to get on the bus if we was going to see her. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
I tell people all the time, our children are smarter than us. But I got 7 grandchildren. And my 3-year-old granddaughter pick up her tablet and maneuver that thing however she'll manipulate it however she wants to. Yeah. And then I got a 6-year-old autistic grandson, and he be and the battery go daddy. Hey, we need to charge this, and then so you're right. We do need places where kids can not only explore their creativity, but just be creative, period. Because no kids color no more. They don't draw. They don't like, you know what I'm saying? So that space is necessary. I got so many questions going around in my head.
So watch this. For 2026, people look at art and think, it's a matter of drawing. And the truth of the matter about art is how you make whatever it is you do come to life. There's an art to cooking. There's an art to baking. There's an art to building bikes. There's an art to building custom cars. There's an art to whatever it is you do. And the art is how you do it. And in 2026, man, we're really going to be intentional with putting all of these different options in front of our kids to give them the chance to choose. I like that. I don't really like that. I really like that. So that we can be able to connect them with people that can support that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know if we have another mechanic. We don't know. We don't know if we have plumbers because, education is always pushed. You're going to college. Now we're looking at it right now. Trade school is where it's at right now.
I'm a commercial truck driver.
You get what I'm saying?
You're a barber.
Come on, man. And we just don't know. And I see so many kids who have the ability to draw, and it gets suppressed because that's something, most folk don't believe can pay bills. But being able to create for yourself give you a lasting opportunity to never have to depend on anything and anybody. You can if you tap into your God-given gift, and we watch people do it all the time. When they give it their absolute best, they're successful. Look at your brother.
I tell people all the time, I came across some of the best artists in Santa Rita Inn. Because you don't got nothing but time and space and colored pencil. So you sit there, and it's people in jail that get paid to create envelopes and stuff like that for other inmates. But if we just allowed them to explore that creativity on this side of the wall.
And you could have drew for the Tribune. Man, why you didn't try doing a comic book? Man, we could have been working on mural. But that's not what's pushed.
We need to start pushing it though. And now I do push. I push truck driving because that's what I do. Just like you probably push going to barber school because that's what you do.
I tell them all the time. By the time they grow up, haircut's gonna be $150, $200.
But we can only recommend what we know got us out of the environment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's why we resort to what we do, because that's what got us in the position that we in now. So speaking of barber, now I'm gonna leave the barber for last because that's the hood therapist. The transition from hood dude to holy dude.
That was tough.
And that's why we're gonna talk about it.
That was tough, bro. That was tough, man. I went through so much to make that transition from creating this character in Truck, right? And feeding that monster. You remember that movie? I can't remember. Little Shop of Horror with the
man-eater plant.
And man, he kept feeding it, and it just kept. And that's what I did, right? I kept feeding that man, and before you know it, that's just who. I thought I was. Like that was enough for me. Moms was God. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm set. I don't care who liked me, who disliked me. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm having it my way. And man, just to have my world shaken up. It'll be 20 years next month on the 9th. Mom's done passed, November 9th, 2005. And it hurts so bad, DB. And I'm gonna get back to what you asked me. It hurts so bad that it's the same day my father died. But I have to remind myself to speak about my father because of the love I had to let go when I had to release my mother. Cause I ain't lost her. I had to release her.
So we're gonna stay there for a second, right? Because this morning I woke up and I posted my mom. Okay. Right? Similar, the love I carry for my child overshadows me missing my mom some days, or most days. Actually, it just something happened this morning. And I was like, damn, I wish I could have called my mom. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just to check in with her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She never was in a position to give real advice, but just to check on her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I said today gonna be one of those days. So now I know how to declare those days, right? And just let it flow through me. But how do you consistently remember pops with the love of moms overshadowing it so much? And it's not that you didn't love your pops, it's just that I think it's the bond with one over the other. So like the bond with my child was stronger than the one with my mom. So my child always is at the forefront of my mind. But I also lost my mom, and that shit painful too.
I believe a lot of times we can subtly guilt trip ourselves because of titles, right? When the missing is because of the connection. And I've learned this over time, helping people through the grief process, right? You being a father and me knowing the kind of father you were to all your kids and you are to all your kids, to have to be disconnected, right? That's yours. I can't understand that. But here I am, the child, and had to be disconnected from the only love I really knew other than my grandmother, right? My mother is I don't know it because she was always on me. But when she left, I got to see what I had. And it was hard because I let go of the greatest thing I ever had. And I had no control over it. It was nothing that I could do about it. You know what I'm saying? And in every instance, bro, every day I think about my mother. And it almost feel like 20 years ago. It still feel like it was like it's new. But my dad, and I'm gonna just have to keep it a buck. We really don't know each other. Yeah. So when my mother passed, I'm really angry with him, right? Because I don't know you. I can't even count on one hand how many times as a kid me and my dad chilled. You get what I'm saying? But I have more memories of stuff that didn't go the way it was, like sitting on that porch waiting for him with that peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying?
And that's gonna be another episode that I'm thinking about how I'm gonna do it, because I love my father to death. Yeah. But it's not a lot of happy days. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, the memories, when they come back, they go back to the not so happy days. And it feels unfair to him because he was there and he is a good dude. Like when we connect, we connect. Yeah. But my childhood wasn't filled with a lot of happy days. And so between not having to heal from your happy days and not having a lot of happy days to heal, to reflect on, and so many negative experiences, not necessarily with him, but things that happened because he was at work or because he just wasn't there in that moment. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
we're gonna have to put that one. We're gonna have to do that one on
another day. Yeah, I created this space being pushed by my brother, right? Because he seen that I needed an outlet to process this pain before I self-implode, right? So me talking gets everybody else to come and talk, right? And I'm learning. Every time I sit down, I learn so much. And your point of view just help put something else in perspective. You dig what I'm saying? But how do you process your grief? Because you get firsthand grief, you get secondhand grief every funeral that you attend, that you got to carry that grief back with you. Then we'll get to the barber, but that's a hood therapist. And grief comes in many forms. It's not just death. It's all type of things that you have to listen to and you coach other people through. And then, like I said off camera, like who helps the person who helps everybody else? Yeah. You know what I mean? Who does the strong person get to go to in these situations, and how do you release?
Yeah. So, man, and you're right. Grief. I mean, to be in that painful place don't always come from death. And this probably be another show where we can talk about heartbreak, right? Because I believe that was the worst hurt I've ever experienced, because I watched my mama get ready to transition. I knew my mama was getting ready to transition, but heartbreak I was not prepared for. When I wrote that book, Truck Used to be able to do whatever truck wanted to do, I didn't write in there how to recover from being in love and all that old kind of stuff, right? So like that, bruh, it was like standing in front of Amtrak.
I briefly remember you going through it and your post transitioned for a period of time, and it's like you got to process through it. How did you process through that?
The honest truth, bro.
That's all.
This the honest truth.
That's all we can
This
give them.
this the honest.
It's a gentleman that's gonna watch this that's probably going through something, and the honest truth is gonna help him.
The whole truth is, when I was angry, I told God exactly how I felt about the situation, and I told God exactly how I felt about the person. And what I discovered in my telling God, I told the right person. One, because God would never repeat or share what I said with him to anybody, right? So I didn't have to worry about it being spread and being messy, right? And it helped me to draw closer to God. I learned how to really pray in heartbreak. There is no prayer language. And if we would have to call it, if we would have to give praying a language, it would have to be called honesty. And I talked to God, bro, in ways I've never talked to God before. And I was able to hear God. I learned to be able to really recognize God. But before, I believe I was on autopilot. He was making sure I stayed safe. But in this moment, he was trying to grow me up, right? It happened to grow me. That's 100% what it was. And if you ever notice me, man, on social sites, I'm big on accountability, because that's what I had to do in that time. So when I would talk to God about the situation and about her, God would always remind me about me. I say this about the situation, and then God, I say, well, I tried to get you out right there. I'll say this about the situation. You don't remember this time right here? You don't remember this time. You don't remember. So now all I have to look back at is myself. Regardless of what happened, I have to look at me when I had the opportunity to get released before any of this happened. So how can I be mad at her when I did exactly the same thing? She did what she wanted to do, and I did what I wanted to do. She went in the direction she wanted to, and I stayed where I wanted to stay. We both did what we wanted to do. And God was trying to give me an out, and I didn't take it, bro. And when I started to see that, that's when I really started to heal. No longer blaming her, because now I'm looking at her like, okay, Truck, you missed it. You missed it right there. You missed it right there.
You missed it.
You know,
like you missed the sign.
And in prayer, bro, I really learned. And then my pastor, man, he really coached me through it, and gave me some real ugly, hard truths. Some things I just, I didn't necessarily agree with, but once I came out of it, I saw why he gave me the instructions that he
You
did.
talking about the bishop?
Oh man.
Man, and even though I haven't been to church in years, when my child was taken from me, I had to go sit down and have lunch with the bishop at what's that popular hotel in Berkeley? Up on the hill. It's like a spa, Claremont. He called me to the Claremont. Come on up here. Come on up to the Claremont. Sit down. Tell me what you. We're not doing that. Yeah. And he gave me, and so for that I'll always have the highest regard for the bishop, right? The only problem is where the church is located at now.
Yeah.
That's directly down the street from where she was taken from me.
Yeah.
So I listen to, I get the text messages still, and every now and again I'll jump on and I'll listen to it, but I just can't go to that location.
Yeah. And bro, that come with growth. Yeah. That come with time. So I remember DB when it all first started, right? And I reached out to you, and bro, the first conversation we had, it was for hours, right? And here's something that over my time in bereavement, what I learned when I'm dealing with someone that's grieving. You have a lot of people who feel the need to give insight and information, but never take the time to assess. Yeah. So as I'm talking to you, all I can hear is a man that's really hurt to the core. Now I can't just look at the root, yeah, right? The trunk of the tree. I got to look at the limbs. He a little hood. He can be a little crazy. It's a mixture of everything, right? Yeah. So what I've learned in times like that, I don't shoot my advice. I look for prayer points, because when I was grieving, I learned how to get through by talking to God. So when I'm listening to you, I'm praying God keep his mind, protect his mind, guard his heart. God smother the hurt and the pain out of his heart, but don't allow him to act on how it is he feels.
So the prayer worked. just for the record.
We ain't never even talked about that.
The prayer worked.
We ain't never even talked about it.
Where I'm at today, based on where because I talked to you maybe day 2.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It was fresh.
I now pray, and this is against everything that we believe, right? Growing up, I now pray that God just give him his 40 to 50 years, and I never have to deal with the situation. And I pray that his family just continue to stay away from me and not push, don't poke the bear. You know what I'm saying? But I haven't personally came across none of his cousins. Well, I have, because I used to date one of his cousins. Really? I was madly in love with one of his cousins back in the day, right? And I know that she reached out to me, but she didn't say that's my cousin. Yeah. But I now grew to us, because at first I was mad at her. And I'm like, how you not tell me that that's your cousin? But now I had to think about it. Like, how do you tell me that that's my cousin if you don't know the growth that I experienced? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you don't know that, I ain't tripping. I ain't like you. I got cousins that did shit that I don't approve of. Yeah. So I would be wrong to take that out on her. Or a male cousin approached my BM and said, we don't appreciate or we don't approve of what he did. We're not rocking with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's those type of situations that make it easy for me to say, just let him stay where he at for 40, 50 years, and I'll never have to deal with the situation, versus the conversation we had day 2.
Hey man, that was rough. And if you notice, I didn't have much to say. I remember in one part of that conversation, you was like, man, and you said something about, yeah, I know I'm supposed to forgive and forgiveness is for me, but I ain't doing that, right? And I was just like, God, and I understood, bro. Like that's where people make the mistake and try to suppress how a person is feeling. No, this is a safe space for you. Let it out.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's what you're saying with men seeing this. That's what we have to really develop. That's the beauty in brotherhood at the apartment C, a place where you know more than I do about what transpired at the apartment C, and now you have a men's fellowship. And just about a month ago, I look up and I see PO in the midst of the after party, wherever, a Too Short birthday party, and he paused the whole party with every kind of, you know what I'm saying, is up in there. Every, you know what I'm saying, is in there, and he prayed a prayer of salvation. You can't tell me change is not available to. We talking about PO.
Change is available to everyone. So I still yell, "Fuck forgiveness," but I now complete that with, even though I don't forgive him, I don't have the right to go out and cause more chaos and confusion.
That's growth.
And so I don't know if I'll ever get to a place where I can actually say, I forgive him. That's going to be difficult because it don't make sense, right? You use your firearm against a 21-year-old young woman that didn't pose a threat to you, and it don't make sense. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to recover from that. But I've moved to a space where I acknowledge that my child is no longer here. She's not coming back. I can't accept it though. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
And I tell everybody, because acceptance means to agree with, and I don't think I'll ever agree with it. So I can acknowledge that my child is not here, agree not to cause more chaos and confusion, and remain a good person. And for today, that's all I could offer anybody. And then this morning, I post something about my child. I post a video I posted about stop saying that you're good. Like, learn the language of your emotions. And then someone got on my post. It's a gentleman that I know. We grew up together. We've been rocking for 25. And he like, bro, God allowed everything. I'm like, I don't agree with that. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you can tell me that God woke up and said, I'm about to put this whole family through all this for no reason, right? I think God rolling in everything that's dealing with my child is sending me a pastor that I can relate to. That, all right, that's a little extreme. Don't do that. And let's work our way back toward like a balanced middle ground. You know what I'm saying? And to keep me safe and sane, to keep me to where I could create this space and allow other people to come in and share their stories. And I can't go no place without somebody saying, man, I seen your podcast, man, this right here helped me, do. So I think that's the part that's God playing in this situation. And like I told you that night, I'm like, you can't tell me that God said, I'm about to put this dude through all that pain. And you told me, if I'm not mistaken, you told me like I was going in the right direction with that. Like it's a passage and you said it that night. Tell me if you can remember.
Help me to remember. How did that go?
Because I said that I don't think God woke up and said, I'm about to put this dude through all this pain, and God is not the author of chaos and confusion. And you said, you're right. And then you ran down a passage or.
So that was the Spirit. That was the Spirit speaking. But God is not. So to say that God will wake up and say, I'm about to take your daughter, is to say that God is a part of confusion, to say that God feed off of chaos, right? And to call God a murderer.
Yeah.
And everything about God is about living. everything about God is about life, everlasting life, life in abundance, life in fullness, right? And the truth of the matter is, bro, and we tend to not really highlight, and I believe a lot of it is because of the trauma and all of what we didn't experience. Sin is real. We have people running around here acting out under the influence of the op. Yeah. And let's use their verbiage of the op, right? And sin is real, and sin can do some things that can cause the kind of hurt and pain we all have experienced, like yourself and who knows how many other parents, right? So like, yeah, no, God is love, God is life, God is about life in fullness. So I can't remember how the conversation went, but we was along there.
I said, man, if we believe in good, we got to believe in evil, and sometimes evil is run a play in the score, right? And I tell people, and this is not the first time I said this on a podcast, I've never shot my gun and thought about God. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can't say that man shot his gun.
That's loaded.
But I can't say that man shot his gun thinking about God, right? Because like in my 20s, like I was a young dreadhead dude, and I've gotten to some situations and I've had to pull the trigger. Thank God I've never killed anybody, but I've had to pull a trigger, and the trigger was pulled against me.
Because in that lifestyle, God has nothing to do with where we come from, right? So to piggyback off of you, I ain't never thought about gun when I had to squeeze, right? God had nothing to do with how we was living, and we was enjoying it. What happened, DB, the enemy, now he can see because of this blue chair and this blue chair and these Kleenex and these lights and everything that's sitting around here and all of the people that done said right here, he done lost one. So his goal is to try to keep you in an unhealthy space mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, because this chair right here is bringing people who's experiencing the same pain you had without a platform to be able to talk on. He's using you, regardless of how long it takes for you to get to wherever you're trying to get to. God has used you to create something that's reaching the masses, that's helping a lot of people you don't even know. People is watching these videos because they don't have the voice. They don't know how to talk. For whatever it is, embarrassment, shame, whatever it may be, hurt, they don't have it. But they can go and click on YouTube. They can go and click on Facebook. They can go and click on Instagram. And they can see people like you, like me, like the people who sit in this chair, like them getting the help and the support that they need. And this is turning your hurt in the midst of it into help.
Yeah, this is turning my hurt to help, my pain into purpose.
Your pain into purpose.
That was the whole mission that Big DB poured into me as on our, we still go walking every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So, all right.
It's only right for it. God gave you your brother who is, in my opinion, he's becoming the world's counselor, but I'm going to be a little selfish. He belonged to the town. That's the town therapist. I ain't even going to put hood on it, dude. I done called him and had to talk to him. Early in the morning, DB, you up?
And he always up.
Man, yep.
It don't seem like he sleep.
Man, what's going on? And get into him. And then he got to get into me. But that come from me going and meeting with him, sitting at days end while he watching a basketball game or a football game or something, and just shooting the breeze and trying to learn the t-shirt game. Who would have known from the t-shirts he was going to go into juvenile hall and learn what he needed to learn from them youngsters to see, okay, we all need this kind of support in the world, and boom. And now I'm looking at him not as the t-shirt guy, right? I ain't going to get my never worry. I'm calling now so I don't have to worry about taking outside what I could have.
Yeah. And so I also say what a pleasure or what a blessing it is to be able to call him and he can always answer the phone for me. You know what I'm saying? So, and you too, right? You know what I mean? Like, so I appreciate, and that's another thing, right? nobody, well, I ain't gonna say nobody, most people don't have the vast reach that I have.
That's how much God love you.
I can literally call the bishop. I could call you. I could call my brother. I could call PO, right? I could call a bunch of OGs from a bunch of different neighborhoods, and we'll have an hour-long conversation because we got something in common. And these dudes is damn near twice my age. Well, not twice my age. They 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So at the end of the day, because I know that the average black man don't have a support staff or a support circle like I have, it almost made it like my duty. Like once I got to talking, once my brother got me talking, and I'm like, ooh, people can't do this. Yeah. And I'm like, it would be selfish of me not to bring people on and have them share at least a glimpse of their knowledge to help them get through at least today. You know what I mean? So my goal always is to help one person get through today, because I also have, unfortunately, had conversations with mothers of children who the fathers have taken themselves off the board and completed suicide, because the weight of this grief do get heavy some days. You know what I'm saying? And you probably never thought about suicide behind your mom, but my bad.
No. I was just too big of a, and I'm glad I was too big of a coward to do it. But when my mama died, bro, after the funeral, I believe the next 30 days was the hardest time of my life.
That's when it got quiet.
Oh, bro, it wasn't no more hustle and bustle. I didn't have a whole bunch of people around.
That's when it get quiet.
And I used to sit in my car on the side of the barber shop and be like, and I don't know God at the time. I don't have
but he knew you.
Yeah, I don't know him, and I learned how much he loved me. And watch, I'm finna show you how unselfish he is, especially when you just was talking about the village that you have. I used to ask God every day, please kill me, please, kill me. I can't live another day without this woman.
Yeah.
Kill me. I don't want to be here. I would be grateful for this, right? I get into it. No, somebody got into it, one of my little young homies. Now I'm still firecracker on top of grieving, right?
Which is a deadly combination. I'll tell you a story.
So I go down to kind of like get this situation together. I'm talking to this one particular person, and another cat, watch how God work. Boy, God is amazing. Walks up and get into our conversation, and he asks the other guy, like, you good? And dude's like, yeah, I'm straight. I'm like, what you gonna do? Right? Like, and he got his pistol on him, right? And now I'm calling him everything but his name, trying to get him to squeeze, because I need to get up out of here, right?
I want to go back with my mama.
I want to go. I'm trying my hardest. I'm thinking, bruh, and it wouldn't happen. And I went home. I'm babysitting. I'm asleep, and I had this dream that I got shot. And in the dream, I fall through the back door of my childhood home, right? And my mama is washing dishes. Blue sweatpants, black muumuu on, little short blonde afro. Never turn around though. She at the sink, and I'm like, Mama, I'm shot, help me. And I'm in a panic, right? And she like, wait. And I'm like, Mama, help me. You talking about wait? I'm bleeding. I'm about to die. Help me. And she like, wait. And bro, I woke up out the dream, and it was a Sunday morning. I got up, got my ex at the time, my girlfriend at the time, son, up, and we went to church. And I've never missed church. But here's the beauty in God. I don't know God's voice. I can't recognize God's voice. I don't know him. So he had to use a voice to tell me to wait that I was familiar with, one that I could listen to, one that I can recognize and hear, one of love, right? And he used my mom. And sometimes people be, oh man, I ain't finna be praying. I ain't finna. And God give you your brothers, me's, the bishops, the POs, that you can be able to go and talk to, because we're going to always say what God would say, which would be best for you in love, for you to be able to continue to live the best that you can be. And you know the people that you can go and talk to that's going to help you to feel better when you walk away.
And ironically, it's some of the men that society wouldn't even think of.
For sure.
Like it's some good men out there in the world that, for instance, I just had a conversation with Face and I released it.
I saw that.
That's one of my guys. Like I'll call him and he'd be like, "Bro, I'll be there in a minute." And sometimes, like in the beginning, I forgot what I said to him. No, that's a lie. We out by my garage and he just standing there. He just got his hands in his pocket. Nobody got no phones out because he want to support, but he just don't know how. And I say, I had one job, to protect my baby, and I couldn't protect her that night. And we both dropped a tear. And that let me know that he is here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's one thing to be here, but that's empathy at work right there. You know what I'm saying? So it is like men like that, right? But I also know that if it hit the fan, he would still be right there on my side.
Yeah,
you know
man like that.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like me having the vast circle of support that I have, it's only right that I share.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the world.
No doubt.
But you just said something that triggered a thought from the other day when I called you and you wanted me to text you. You did a post and you said, I could do what's right or I could do what's best.
And that's how I live my life now.
And I was like, ooh, because sometimes what we want to do would be justified. It would be justified. Society would totally understand why you did what you did. But that don't mean it wouldn't be best. Elaborate on that, because when you said that, I was actually on my way from walking with my brother, coming home, and you didn't answer. You like, text me. And then the following day I hit you and I forgot what I was doing, but I think I was driving at work then. But elaborate on that.
Man, Bishop had me preach and not too long ago, and the word that I had was humility, right? And in studying that word for this, I mean, it's so much, but just this one particular piece of humility is when you look at it from a standpoint of following God, sometimes it's gonna hurt, sometimes you're gonna look bad, sometimes you're gonna be laughed at, sometimes you're gonna be talked about, but to do it God's way is the best way, right? Yeah, you can do it the right way, and like you say, it can be justified, but it's a possibility that the right way can still be perceived wrong, depending on who you're talking to, right? Depending on the climate of the situation, depending on how angry the other person is, or whatever the case may be. You can be right, and it can still be taken the wrong way. But what happens when you look at it from the position of what's best? Now you're looking at the whole table. What is this about to cost me? What am I about to have to give up? Even if I do the right thing, I'm right. I'm 100% right. But can it cost me my freedom? Could it cost me my life? Right? What's fueling me to push the fact that I'm right? Is it my ego? Is it my ego and pride talking together? Is it my ego and pride talking together and then telling shame to shut up? Because we ain't going for that. What am I trying to protect? What am I trying not to allow to be exposed? Am I finna stand up for my feelings being hurt and show them? All of that is on the table. Now let's look at the table. How many grandkids you have?
7.
And I'm gonna just use you. You got 7 grandkids. How many kids?
I got 3 kids left.
3 kids still with us. A wife, your brother. Who knows who else is attached to you? So you getting off on doing what's right can potentially have you to exit and not even consider all of these other people whose lives is impacted by you. But when you do what's best, all of that come into play. And what it help us to do as men, it really help us to check our ego. Put a little ice on it. Go sit down, put a little ice on your ego. Okay. And over time, then you learn to talk to pride and tell them to be quiet. Because what pride ain't gonna never let us know is this, PRIDE. Please remember, it destroys everything. So when he get to talking to your ego, everything is on the table. Everything is on the table. And shame, he's a little softy. That's the person we don't want to relate to because the hood then taught us to protect that. We ain't trying to show that. So doing what's right can have us to act out, right? But doing what's best can have us to properly respond. And it's always going to be safe, and it's always going to protect everything that's around you. I just had some stuff happen to me, man. I had to take it on the chin, because what would have been right could have created a lot of chaos. But what was best, it allowed me to walk away and learn how to make the adjustments to where, I don't have to deal with that anymore.
So maybe a week ago, I made a video about protecting my kids. A situation happened with my second oldest, and I seen red. This is how God worked, though. I see red. I throw on 2 layers of clothes. I'm headed out the door. Nafisa, who always on the podcast with me, she just out the blue. She just sent me videos of my wedding. She ain't never sent me videos of my wedding. Yeah. But she sent me videos and pictures of my wedding, right? Then I'm getting in the car and my wife called. Hey, love, I'm just checking on you. You all right? What's going on? I'm good. I'm good. Hang up. And I'm in the car. I live kind of far. My daughter, she live in Oakland, right? So
you got time.
I got time, right? I'm still there though. Some say, hey dude, you made a promise to your brother. Anytime something about to happen, you gonna call him. So I call him. He in San Leandro. He send me Addy. I'm gonna pull up with you. Right?
That ain't what you wanted.
Hey, when we jumped out the car, he looked at me and was like, for real? Bro, you not about and I try to plead my case to him and he all right, that's not what we're here for. We're gonna go check on your child. We're gonna see what happened, see what's going on. We're gonna defuse the situation, and then you're gonna take your silly ass back home. Yeah. Yeah. But that prompted me to make the video. Protecting your children don't always mean defending, because in that conversation with my child, we educated her on how to avoid these situations.
This is what's best for you.
This is what's best. So sometimes protecting our children is educating them, it's covering them, it's letting them know that you do got their back. You know what I mean? But I can't let past experiences cause me to trick myself off the board. And I would have been justified based on the situation that happened because it's another child.
Right.
But it wouldn't have been what's best. That's why when you posted that, I'm like, ooh.
It's so many people attached to you. It's so many people attached to me. It like when I'm talking to my brothers, right? And that's all I'm trying to always get. I never tell, here's what, unless I see a man about to do something and I need to do what your brother did, like really step in his face, right? Bible talks about iron sharpening iron. Sometimes you got to walk alongside, that's support. Sometimes you got to walk behind, that's pushing. But sometimes you got to get in his face, that's stopping, right? I'll offer my words then. But what I try to get brothers to see is everything it's about to cost you to do it. That's what no one, and here's why. Folk don't teach us how valuable we are.
No, they don't.
So when I get a chance to talk to a brother, I love you. I don't mind the phone calls at any time. I done had them, bro. I done been sitting in the hub 3, 4 in the morning waiting like, bro, we ain't finna talk until you can. I don't want to hear you mad. I need to hear your feelings is hurt. Yeah. So we can have a breakthrough, right? Man, I ain't mad. My feelings ain't hurt. Bro, listen, bro. We can sit here till, you know what I'm saying? All right, man. And then we get to get where we need to go. I'm going to give you this hug. We're going to sit here and cry together. I'm going to share with you what I need to share with you. But when you walk out of here, you ain't going there. You ain't going to do that because I just gave you quality time to make sure that you understand that you just don't matter, that you're valuable. And we don't do that enough.
And the funny thing about it is when somebody called me and they angry, I say, nah, you probably disrespected. You probably feel disrespected. Yeah, dude disrespected me. Good, cool. I'm glad you admitted that. That's a story you telling yourself. What is disrespect? Like, what is disrespect, really? It's a story that we tell ourselves. Change the narrative.
Man. And I used to be big on respect. And over time talking with Bishop about it, right? Like, and that's something that's growing out of me from the street, right? We big on respect. It's the principle. I hate that. Oh, it's the principal. Man, listen, the principal gonna have you in the principal's office. You know what I'm saying? And bro, like, I've grown and I'm growing because I still get upset. But there's a scripture that I live by, Psalms 4:4. Be angry, but not sin. God don't say you can't feel, but just don't act on how you feel, right? And when I'm feeling disrespected, bro, this is what I do. I take a nap.
I'm good for taking naps, but Big Bro told me years ago, you still responsible for how you act, no matter how you feel.
No, for sure. 100%.
So that's like, you just gave the biblical terms, the 4:4 was
Psalms 4:4.
Psalm 4:4. That's the biblical term for you're responsible for how you act no matter how you feel. You know what I'm saying? If God tell you can feel, you're just not allowed to commit sin. Same thing.
Don't act on that. But I got the nap from 4:4.
Yeah.
Because the next line say, lie in your bed and meditate on your heart. Go think about what happened and what's about to happen if you do this. Go lie down and meditate on your heart.
See, and so I just take a nap because I get so angry. Yes, sir. And I just that's just like my natural default now. Yeah. Especially since my child was taken away from me. Yeah. I will shut down in a minute, but then some days, like, I won't sleep for 3 days. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm trying to get that part back into a rhythm because I still drive trucks at night.
Well, to acknowledge it and to be openly acknowledging it with these mics and cameras, that I believe that's the first step to helping you to figure it out. Yeah. Because what we keep held in, then we become hostages of it, right? And what we do is we incarcerate ourselves. But when we can open our mouths and freely say it, then we're going in the right direction of becoming free from it, right? And experiencing the freedom that we need. And the thing with growing, DB, is take your time. David said, I walk through the shadow of the valley of death. He did not run through, he did not jog through, he did not sprint through, he walked through. And part of his walking through was he didn't want to miss anything God had for him in the midst of growing him up. The 23rd Psalms is about God's protection, God's providing, and God's perfection, his progress, him growing you, right? And David said, because I understand who I have, who I am, and who he is to me, I can take my time because you don't want to miss nothing. So just think, if you were standing right here and we had 3-4 other people standing behind you, and everybody had something in their hand for me, and I take off running to try to grab everything from everybody. One, I'm gonna miss some. Two, I run a risk of wasting some stuff, and three, I run a risk of making a mess. But if I walk through it and get what I need from you and get what I need from them, now I can walk away with everything I'm supposed to have. And in healing, bro, we need to be able to take our time, because in healing, it takes time to restore, it takes time to revive, it takes time to refresh, and it takes time to reroute. We have to be patient in this whole healing process. And who knows how long that takes. That'd be the thing. Sometimes we be on ourselves like, oh man, I shouldn't be here, and I should have been past that. And no, man, you don't know that.
I tell people, for me, I had my child for 21 years. So at least give me 21 years to process me not having her. Now in the 23rd, 24th year, let's have a conversation about where I need to be. But these first 21 years, I'm going to be wherever I need to be. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know what I tell dudes in the street? I tell dudes in the street, give God the same amount of time that you gave the game. Don't give God a month to try to change your life. No, you've been running these streets 20 years. Give God the same amount of time and the same amount of effort that you didn't put into the game, that you didn't put into yourself. Give him that same amount of time. And I'm willing to bet my life on it. He'll blow your mind. If you put the same kind of energy you put in from going from a double up, you know what I'm saying, to a quarter pack, to a half, to a whole, give God that same effort and energy and time and dedication that you gave to the game, to him helping you to navigate through change in your life. And he'll blow your mind. But change is scary for a lot of people.
Change is still scary for me.
Me too. I keep being introduced to all of this stuff. Bro, I ain't seen none of this in my life.
Like, change is like, so I learned from being in the streets that courage is doing it scared. If it ain't no fear in there, you don't got to exercise no courage. So I do everything not knowing. I do things afraid.
Yeah.
Like, especially when it comes to kids and grandkids, like, I be having to do stuff that I've never done, but I got to make it look like I did this before because my kids is watching me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't do it scared. I got to show up like this my 100th time doing this. So I take that same philosophy just with a lot of stuff in life, right? So we gon' get to this hood therapist, right? Because you a hood therapist as a barber. Because you a hood therapist as a barber, and a lot of people come and dump a lot of stuff on you as they sit in your chair or you go to them or whatever. When somebody dumps something on you heavy, like how do you, like I asked you before the cameras, how do you take care of yourself? Like what's your self-care, what's your healing process when it comes to that, the secondary grief that you get from listening to other people's story?
Well, over time, bro, I've honestly learned to just kind of see it all through one lens. Grief is grief, right? And it helps me that way to make sure that I don't compartmentalize folk and start putting people in certain areas. I just see grief to be unique, right? Because everybody grieve different and everybody grieve for different reasons, right? So I just listen to learn. As I'm listening, if I can't formulate questions, then I just continue to listen or I pray. Um, Pre-Jesus, we all figure out how to say something. Once I took on the responsibility of being a part of the bereavement ministry, it taught me to check my words. I'm very minimal when I'm listening to a person that's hurt. But to help myself when I step away from it, well, let me tell you how I kind of go into, say I'm on my way to a funeral service, and some people have an issue with it, but it works for me. My prayer before I take off is, God, help me to be helpful. And give me 3 funnies when I get in this service. This is a part of my prayer. And God, if it's an uncle in there, please let him stand up and have remarks. Because historically for me, over my 18 years of doing bereavement, uncles are the funniest cats at a funeral. So let me get that, right? So I can work the room, because my whole thing is, in this heavy setting, I want to be able to lighten it up, right? And bro, I may listen to like Juvenile or something like that on my way to the service, right? And when I get close, I put something on to help me to focus. But my whole thing is to help me to stay light, because I know I'm finna walk into this heavy setting. When I get there, I do an assessment. And when I get to preach on a Sunday morning, I'm so grateful and I love it, right? But is something about going into this setting where people is hurt that I'm like, oh God, let's do this thing, right? And my pastors helped me to be able to understand it. He said, it hurts you to watch people hurt. You have the gift of encouragement, and it's heavy on you. You can't stand to see people hurt. You don't like that, and you're going to try to help fix that however you can. So when I leave out of a funeral, bro, it's like playing a football game and never coming off the field. It's like playing a basketball game and I played the whole 48 minutes and I be tired. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to talk. I just like to be by myself. One of the things I do is I go sit at the Buttercup, right? And because a lot of people don't know what I do, just strangers, right? So I sit and I talk with somebody, or I go to a bar, and people always trip out like, why are you always at bars, but you don't drink? And it ain't got nothing to do with church. I ain't never drank. I just don't like how alcohol tastes. That was point blank bottom line. But in the bar, I meet very interesting people. Yeah. I like to sit at the bar at a restaurant because I like watching TV and make my food taste better, and I get to talk with, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I like to do for myself. I'm gonna go sit in the movies on my off day. But finding people who don't know who I am, when I get to take off my costume, when I get to pull it off, and then go sit in that setting and just be a regular person. That's what I like to do for me. But right after a service, I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to go lay down. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm done with it, I'm done with it. Like I'm not waking up. I'm not responding to inboxes that's just telling me that you just had, you ready to break up with your boyfriend, or you ready to break up with, no, we can deal with that tomorrow. Yeah. Right? But if it's something urgent, then I'm gonna respond to it. And I've gotten better at it, because I felt guilty when I first started, as if I owed the world that, based on how I handle people, especially when it came down to women, like being an old playboy. And I'm like, well, I owe God this. You know what I'm saying? If they call in and they need some support, I owe this, right? No, yeah. I don't owe nobody I don't owe nobody to break my rest for something. You know what I'm saying?
You owe you.
Man, and I learned, right? Like, man, sis, and then, one of my better parts of ministry is being able to have these conversations with sisters and being able to help them to be able to understand, part of what comes on, you allow, right, with access and all that other kind of stuff. And I gain friends from it. It's a beautiful thing to be in a position to help, not giving advice, but asking questions. But back to what you were saying, what I'd like to do is I like to be a stranger. I like to go and sit in settings where people don't know me. And I like the movies. And I can sit in a restaurant for hours, bro. 5-6 hours. I'll tip you real good. If I'm sitting at the bar, I'm gonna tip you real good. But I can sit there and watch 2 football games. I can go in with the sun out and leave with it dark. My car be the only car in the parking lot, and I have about like 10 spots from here to San Jose that I just don't share with nobody. I don't share them.
And so, I mean, that's a version of self-care. You know what I'm saying?
And then my massages. I know everybody see I do 2 or 3 of those a week. That's really my little safe
That's
space. Yeah, that's my thing.
self-care.
Yes, indeed.
This has been a lovely episode of the Pain and the Purpose podcast with the pastor Truck, Demoria Evans. He'll be back because we got more conversations to come. Like, as always, do something today to make your child proud. Have a blessed and stress-free day because you definitely deserve it. We love you. Peace.